Instant match reaction, Brighton 0, Everton 0. Is anybody still awake? Did anybody stay awake past the first half, to be honest with you? I sat down at half time on the couch and I said to myself, I don't think it can get much worse than what I've just witnessed. And, well, the second half was much worse than what I'd just witnessed. Yeah, just an awful game of football, wasn't it? Tipped off at 7:15 when we saw the team news, and obviously we already knew there was going to be no Gomez, no Gbamin. We knew Allan was a doubt, and then the team news gets released and there's no Calvert-Lewin, there's no Josh King, there's no Allan at all. We've got 7 out of 8 players on the bench that are under 23s or under 18s, 5 of them not making their Premier League debut. The only senior player being Alex Iwobi, who offers very little, let's be honest, offered very little tonight when he come on. Yeah, just dross really, absolutely dross. To be honest with you, I think this season could be a done, to be honest, a write-off. And I'm not usually negative, I don't want to sit here and be negative, but that tonight was arguably the worst game of football I've witnessed in a long time. Have Everton performed worse than that? Probably, yeah, but that was a complete and utter waste of 90 minutes, wasn't it? Let's be honest. One shot on target in the entire game, and let's be honest, it was a James shot from the tightest angle you'll ever see, and it was never going in. It was a great play by Coleman to get it to James, and he has the shot from an angle which he's never going to score from. Iwobi has the biggest chance of the game for Everton in the last 30 seconds and decides to lash it into my back garden because he's got about as much composure as, I don't know, a chocolate bar, something with not much composure. And yeah, again, there's literally not much to say about that game whatsoever. We're going to struggle to even sit down for 5 minutes and talk about it. Defensively, we were alright. Look, Yerry Mina goes down at part way through the game and he has to be taken off. Another injury to add to that list. It's getting to the point now where it's like one of them stupid movie scenes where someone gets a scroll out and it goes running for ages and ages. That's how many injuries we've got now. Add Yerry Mina to that list. Calvert-Lewin, Andre Gomez, Allan, Gbamin. All 3 days ago we thought, yeah, everyone's all fit here except the players we already know are out. Literally overnight, training. You know, what's going on? What is going on? Gbamin, Allan, Calvert-Lewin and King all injured in training. We can't even think, oh, they'll be alright in training anymore. But anyway, I'm going on a tyrant about injuries. Injuries have killed us this season. I mentioned it earlier on today. Injuries have completely and utterly killed us off. 10 first team injuries is a nonsense. You put that on any other team in the Premier League and they don't win many games, but it's not an excuse. We had James Rodriguez on the pitch tonight, we had Gylfi Sigurdsson on the pitch, we had Richarlison on the pitch who had a stinker, and they all should have been more than capable to break down this Brighton team. There was no energy, it was dull, there was no pace, it was just lackadaisical. And you know, energy is something that we talk about frequently, and obviously we've spoken about it a number of times since Abdoulaye Doucouré has been out injured, and the fact that nobody comes in and replaces that energy that Doucouré brings. And when you've got a midfield three of Davies, Sigurdsson and James Rodriguez, who, for all their hard work, Gylfi Sigurdsson's like a snail on the counter-attack. He runs backwards, that's how slow he is. James Rodriguez was all over the place today. To be fair, he was probably our man of the match. He was everywhere picking the ball up, but he doesn't run with the ball because he's not that type of player. So it's all well and good James picking the ball up from the centre-halves. If he was a forward running midfielder, if he made those progressive runs, then it'd be great because he'd pick the ball up, he'd take 3 or 4 men on and he'd get it to the edge of the area and he'd create a chance. He's not that type of player. He's not going to pick it up from the defenders and push it forward. He's going to pick it up and give it off. So ultimately all he's doing is playing as a CDM there, and then you're missing him out going forward. But I understand why he's dropping into those positions, because Gylfi Sigurdsson threw a couple of tackles in, was alright on the ball, but let's be honest, off the ball was atrocious. On the counter-attack, didn't do anything. Tom Davies, again, on the ball was alright, but it's the same issue that we seem to be having week in, week out, is that we're sitting here and we're talking about good footballers that can play football with the ball at the feet and are alright and are composed, but off the ball we are atrocious. We are absolutely abysmal. We are outran, we are outfought, we are outpaced, we are out-energised, we are out-battled by every single team in the Premier League, because off the ball we have nobody that goes, you know what, I'm going to make a ball-busting run and I'm going to pick that ball up and go and get it back for us. Look at Basuma today for Brighton. He was everywhere, he was picking it up, he was taking it off our players, he was creating, he was getting forward. Go and break the bank for that lad. Go and give them 50, 60, 70, give them 300 million and Alex Iwobi. I don't care. Go and break the bank for that lad, because he's exactly what we need in that midfield. Somebody that'll pick the ball up, move forward and can pass a ball. Nobody was doing that for Everton today. When we were out of possession, we were watching, and if Brighton had a little bit more quality about them, they'd have won that game comfortably. In fact, they had about 4 or 5 chances in the last 10 minutes to win it, and they missed them. And when we were on the ball, the tactic was very much like it is when Dominic Calvert-Lewin's on the pitch, and that's lump it up to Richarlison and hope he can you can take it down. And usually it's lump it up to Dom and hope Dom can take it down, and that's sound, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin wins 9 out of 10 of his aerial battles. Brilliant. Richarlison doesn't. He doesn't win those aerial battles. He's not as dominant in the air as Dom. So when you're lashing the ball up to him, it's just coming back at you. There was no creativity really in there. We had 1 shot on target in the entire game, and it was James Rodriguez from an angle that you'd have put your house on and not scoring from. It was that tight, even for a player of his quality. We had a couple of decent forward pieces of play, but the counter-attacking, oh my God, it was like watching someone. It was like watching walking football. I can imagine that's what walking football is like, where the players are told you can't run here. You've just got to walk. It was slow. It was lethargic. It was dross, really, wasn't it? Listen, there's not much to say about a 0-0 draw away at Brighton, where, again, I understand the injuries. I understand the fact that we've basically stripped the squad now. This is worse than bare bones. We're going to be playing with our 23s soon. Honestly, I think we'll play the last couple of games of the season with just a full under 23 squad, because we're just dropping like flies at the moment. Mean it again today. Before the game, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, King, Gbamin, Gomez, Alan. How many more do we need to say in the space of 2 or 3 days? I'm not excusing that performance, by the way. It wasn't good enough. Was it good enough tactically by Carlo? Look, when you've got no midfielders, you'd have to set up with 6 defenders on the pitch. And Allgate went into midfield and he played a couple of nice passes. He was all right. Defensively, we were all right. A couple of times we got caught out, and Brighton had shots a couple of times where Olsen was made to make a couple of saves, because defensively we just fell asleep. But going forward today, it was Richarlison isolated for 90% of the game, and then Iwobi come on and offered nothing. How many more chances does Alex Iwobi need to get, by the way? It says something when our bench is full of under 23s and under 18s players, and Alex Iwobi still isn't looked at until 20 minutes to go. And when we were playing that badly for the first half and the first 20 minutes of the second half, and Carlo still doesn't want to bring Alex Iwobi on. That shows how bad Alex Iwobi must be insane, and it shows how unimpressed Carlo Ancelotti is with him. I have one qualm with Carlo tonight, and I'm not blaming Carlo for that. I'm not. I refuse to blame Carlo for that. Do I think the season's done? Look, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Everton get Europe. I really don't think Everton get Europe. We haven't got the squad strength. We haven't got the luck on our side injury wise, and we haven't got the consistency. We're not getting into the top 6, 7, whatever Europa League. We're not doing it. You simply need to win those types of games. And I know we've had injuries, but you simply need to win those types of games, and we didn't win. We're not doing it. One qualm I have with Carlo is that game was crying out for energy. I know Niles Nkunku mightn't be Premier League standard. He mightn't have enough Premier League experience. I know Nathan Broadhead mightn't have had a Premier League minute to his name before tonight. I know a couple of the other lads mightn't be experienced enough. But when you've watched an Everton team perform with about as much energy as a sugar-free bloody bottle of water, what's the point in looking at those young lads and going, no, they haven't got experience? Niles Nkunku, every time he's been on that pitch in an Everton shirt, has ran his arse around. And if he hasn't got the quality defensively, if he hasn't had the quality going forward, which he has, but let's discount that and say, let's say every time Niles Nkunku played for Everton, he couldn't pass a ball. So let's just say, for argument's sake, he still brings more energy than anybody else on that pitch, including Alex Iwobi, who come on. So why not put him on and just say, just run at Brighton, give them something to worry about? Because Brighton weren't worrying tonight. They didn't worry whatsoever. I guarantee any one of those Brighton defenders will say that was the easiest night we've had all season, because we weren't pushed whatsoever. There was no energy in their counter-attack, and everything they did, you could see it was like slow, like the Matrix. You knew what we were going to do 20 minutes before we'd done it, because you could see it. So why not throw it in Nkunku on and just let him run around? Why not give a Broadhead an extra 15 or 20 minutes and say, do you know what? Go out and go and do what run your arse off. At least those young players will have given 150% and actually showed that bit of energy and showed that bit of intensity, because it's their chance. Nkunku's got pace to burn. He's shown it in the games he's played so far. Why is he still sitting on the bench and we're watching Sigurdsson, who is may as well be a ghost. We're watching Davis, who hasn't got energy. Hammers, who was brilliant in terms of his overall play, but no energy really. You bring in a Wobie on, who was about as effective as Minan. That's the issue I have with Carlo today, is why he didn't just... It comes to a point in a season when you've had that many injuries and when you're performing that badly, that I think you just say, you know what, throw the young lads on. What have we got to lose? He goes on, he has a stinker, whatever. We've not got any option anyway. At least you've given him a go. What did we have to lose today is to not throw a couple of the young lads on earlier on in the game and just say, do you know what, go and give it 110%, lads, and see what happens. Broadhead's scoring for fun in the under-23s. And Kunku's got pace to burn. Exactly what we needed in that game, but neither are given an opportunity. I know Broadhead come on, but let's be honest, it was for 2 minutes and then we could touch the ball. But yeah, look, 0-0 away at Brighton, not good enough. Injuries have ruined us, and I do fear that season done and dusted, to be honest with you now. We need some serious work at Finch Farm before Friday, because if we go into this Tottenham game with the same squad, with the same team, I might contemplate just sticking the Avengers on or something, because I'm not really going to look forward to it. I'm not, but there you go. Here's the instant match reaction. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out the Football News 365 app in the description down below. Big thanks to them for sponsoring us. Leave a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Play ratings will be out shortly, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.